The Athletic came out with their top rated every NFL team. They had the Packers at like 5 or 6 and the Broncos at 14. And I'm like, well, Denver's better than 14, and I don't think the Packers are top 5 or 6. Well, they did a fan poll. These were their power ratings yesterday. So I said, Broncos are too low, Packers are too high. Well, what do you know? The Athletic had a fan poll this morning, and the most overrated team was the Packers, and the most underrated team was the Broncos. So now they're both going to be fine because they have offensive coaches and they have young, talented quarterbacks going into their prime or in their prime. I mean, Bo Nix is pretty old, so he may be in his prime by the end of this year or the beginning of next year. So they're both going to be fine because there is a recipe. If you look at the Super Bowl odds right now, look at this, J-Mac. The Super Bowl odds this year, 10 of 14 teams, 75%, the highest ones, have an offensive coach. So now you could say, what about Buffalo? What about Baltimore? Yes, if you have Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, what about Washington? Or Jaden Daniels? If you have a superstar game-changing quarterback, then it becomes less relevant. But by and large, what do those teams all at the top have in common? Either a superstar quarterback or an offensive coach. And if you look at the final 4 coaches left in the last 4 or 5 years, the last guy to win a Super Bowl defensive guy was Belichick. Yeah. Think how long ago that was. So there is clearly a blueprint, a process, and a formula. So both Denver and Green Bay are fine because they've got a good offensive coach and a better than average quarterback. So I think they're both going to be playoff teams, probably.
When you look at those odds on the screen for the radio audience, the Bills, Ravens, Eagles, Chiefs are top 4. I think it's pretty clear if you're looking for value to bet on, you have to go into the NFC where it's an easier path. Like in the.
All right, I don't want to talk about betting odds and stuff like this. I want to talk about Denver Broncos. I was thinking about this earlier today. I love how criminally underrated the Denver Broncos are right now. And I love how they're, in a weird way, like controversial, like in a loose sense of that word, especially because they are in a direct threat to the Kansas City Chiefs and a quarterback who so many people like just can't stand that he could be successful in the NFL, with a head coach that people just can't stand that he's, considered a great head coach, in a pretty like uncontroversial city of Denver. Like Colorado as a whole, I love it. I've been there a handful of times. I've shared those stories before. Like I absolutely love it. But like in terms of like controversy, like Colorado's pretty vanilla. I mean, like it's not, you can point to many other cities with lots of like weird stuff going on, and in states all around the country, to California, Pennsylvania, New York. Like you could always find something. Like Colorado, I mean, like I don't know, man, it's pretty vanilla, and I mean that as a positive. I mean that as complimentary as I can. So like it's just like the fact that it's even remotely like upsetting to people, I'm all for it, honestly. I really am. I realized that when I made like my first Bo Nix video, when I was just like, I'm excited. I think Bo Nix would be great, this, that. And it was just like an avalanche of people who were like, he's awful, he's not good, look what he did in Auburn. And it was just like, oh, he's already 24 years old and all this type of stuff. And I was like, oh man, like, like what? Like what's actually happening right now? So I love it. I love it. I am all for it. My heart stopped for a second because when I was queuing up this clip, Colin started talking about the Broncos, and the bottom line, it was still about Shedeur Sanders, and it says like slip up, and it says like, we had a conversation about it, about it with him or something. And he's like talking about the Broncos, and I see that at the bottom line, and I'm like thinking to myself, oh my gosh, what did Bo Nix do? What happened with the Broncos? And I was like, my heart literally stopped. I was like, bro, I've been talking you up so much, so high. Please don't tell me. Like, what had happened? Like, what dumb thing? What? Don't mess this up for me, man. Don't mess this up for me, Broncos. Like, what are you doing? And then I was like, oh, phew. It's just about Shedeur Sanders. They just were a little late on the graphics, so it's all good. Everything's all good with the Broncos. So, man, I'm excited. I'm thinking about I have like 3 takes that I want to share, but I'm not going to share them just yet because I'm still thinking about it. I have like 2 teams, the 2 teams that I think are the most likely to make the playoffs who hadn't made, and 2 interesting ones. And then I'm thinking about sharing a take of a team, the biggest like dark horse to win a Super Bowl. That's like not the obvious, like the Bills, the Ravens, the Eagles, the Chiefs, right? Like even the Lions. Like it's just like a team that and the funniest thing is, like, when I reflect on it, I'm like, could the Broncos even qualify, for that? And technically they would, I feel as though, because they hadn't been in the playoffs for like a decade. They made the playoffs once this past year and then lost. So it's like, you can't enter them in the conversation. But I think out of any of the other teams who have not had this perennial, like, year after year after year levels of success, I do feel as though that you could put the Broncos up, even surpassing a team like the Chargers, because the Chargers have had someone like a Justin Herbert now for years. And so, yeah, man, I just got high hopes for the Broncos, and I'm seeing now like an increase I got so much Broncos. I don't even know when this video is going to post right now, because I have the at the time of me recording this, I already have like 5 Broncos videos that I have to post that I'm just like, and I try not to post them all on the same day, try to give people like a chance just to like watch one, and I don't want to like overload people on a single day and just like post like 5 Broncos videos in one day, especially because some of the people that, since I cover all the teams, I don't want people to be like, what the heck is this guy just turning into like a Denver fan here? So I got so many Broncos videos, and I'm just like, I don't even know how to like organize this right now, but I love it. Honestly, it's a great problem to have. And I got some, and again, depending on when you're watching this video, or depending on what order I even post it, I got a couple Broncos videos that oh man, I'm so pumped for it. I wish I could post them in September, so because that's when more people are around, obviously, than in the summer, because the conversations, man, they're getting good. They're getting juicy. They're getting controversial. And like I said, man, I am all for it. But the sheer fact that somehow this team right here, like the Bills are not controversial, the Ravens aren't controversial, the Bengals are just a mess. I mean, the Chargers had been a mess. I think they finally got some clarity now, and stability. Same thing with the Raiders. But I mean, like, somehow the Broncos coming out of the AFC are just controversial, just like how the Philadelphia Eagles, honestly, for the NFC. They're arguably them and the Cowboys, but for 2 completely different reasons why. But the Eagles have obviously always been pretty divisive in terms of what you think that they're capable of achieving. Just look at just even the conversations after they won the Super Bowl. It's been like kind of like, well, does Jalen deserve credit? Does Nick Sirianni deserve credit? I mean, like, imagine questioning how much credit the head coach and the quarterback deserve for winning the Super Bowl. Like, it's pretty wild. Not to mention the fact that no one thought that they were going to win the Super Bowl, and then they dominated in the Super Bowl. And so it's just like, but like the Vikings aren't really controversial. The Lions, for the most part, aren't controversial. The 49ers, the Packers, they just don't trigger a lot of people to have like really extreme hot and cold opinions. Brock Purdy had that going for him a little bit in the first couple of years, but even that has really kind of like leveled off. It's just mainly because the 49ers had a pretty big down year. But the Broncos with Sean Payton and Bo Nix right now, to me, coming out of the AFC, they got that energy. And like I said, man, I love it. I'm all for it. And it's just directly pushing up against the people who have obviously just spent the last, 6, 7 or so years just saying nothing but 1,000% unconditional positives about the Kansas City Chiefs. And now the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix and Sean Payton are a direct threat to what so many people have discussed for years. And they've built fans now on people expecting to hear Chiefs. And it's hard to kind of dip your toe and start talking about another team. So comment section will get wild. That I can promise you. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Denver Broncos being voted the most underrated roster in the NFL, according to fans? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're all on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.